Remember that we have a name. My name is Bill McConkey, and each of you have a name. We may have a title after our name. Mine says PhD, just because I sat in school a long, long time. But what it doesn't say is Bill McConkey, critic. And I doubt if any of you have that behind your name, unless you happen to work for a newspaper and you're a movie critic, right? But none of us have a job title that says we're critics. Not even supervisors are called critics. Right? We're not paid to go around judging people. I might be paid to evaluate your work sometime, but not you. We need to remember to praise. We are a nation that is quick to criticize. We are critical of other people. We need to learn to praise. I don't remember the man's name, but I know that the women's soccer team who won the world championship back a few years ago, then went on to win the Olympics and were featured on Sports Illustrated and everything. They had a male coach, and when he looked at the films of their games, he clipped out all of the mistakes. He only showed them the things they did well and praised them for it, and they learned how to do the good things over and over. We need to learn to praise. I've told all of my girls this, and I have told them face to face, that I know I was a strict father, probably too much so, but I was trying to protect them. But I know one thing that I really did wrong, and I have apologized to each one of them. I was short on the praise. I was short on saying, "Atta girl, you look nice, great job." And I regret it. We need to get in the business of praising people, not appraising them, praising them. I'll give you a little simple example. I hear it all the time. Folks saying, "Well, I disagree." Well, all we need to do when we do that is say, "You look at me, I'm disagreeable." We don't need to do that. I could say, for example, "Patricia, I know that you're probably right because you always are. And I'm probably wrong. And I've heard what you said, and I'm thinking about it, and there's a lot there. Would you mind listening to my opinion and telling me what you think of it and what's good and bad about it? Then we can compare." Now, isn't that better than saying to her, "I disagree. I don't agree with you"? Because if I said that, I put her on the defensive. And why would I do that? I like her. I like working with her. I want to get along with her. Why would I put her on the defensive when I have an opportunity instead, by just changing the words, to build a better working relationship? We need to learn to do that. Too often, we don't even acknowledge the existence of other people. We'll walk by them and won't even speak. I've seen people walking down the sidewalk and they'll look away. They won't even make eye contact with you. That's crazy. Do you ever notice it in an elevator? People won't even look at each other, won't talk. Stand outside the elevator and people kind of stand around, waiting. The thing opens and everybody goes in there and it closes. Nobody says anything. When I'm in there, I always try to get the attention of some man. I try to make eye contact with some man. I won't do this with a woman because it would scare them, and I'm already scary. So I'll make eye contact with some man, and when he looks at me, I'll say, "I've got new socks." And they'll crack up. I say, "I do. Do you want to see them?" Yeah. Do that on an elevator sometime. Acknowledge that they're there. Walk on that crowded elevator and say, "This thing almost never crashes." Acknowledge that people are there. Listen to them. Get to know them. By the way, I said listening. Everyone thinks they're a good listener. I told you I get up one time in one of these little lectures. I told you I go to bed very early, but I also get up very early. I'm always up when the sun's up. My dogs get me up to go outside. I like to get up, make coffee, get a cup of coffee, go outside, sit on the deck. And the minute that sun cracks that skyline and starts to light up the world where we live, the forest just comes alive. The birds sing, the crickets make noise, the bugs start to fly. There's a chorus, there's a symphony out there, and I listen to it. And by the way, never once do I try to whistle back. I have never ever tried to rub my legs together and talk back to the crickets. I just listen. I have a challenge for every one of you that's listening to the sound of my voice. For the next 7 days, when you listen to people, try to do it without thinking about what you want to say next. Do not think about what you want to say next. Don't think about anything else, but listen to what they're saying. All right? Listen to what they're saying. Then you will learn something about them. You will learn more about what they're talking about. Man, and they're going to be a better friend, I'll tell you. There's another couple things quickly I want to talk about. We hear the word tolerance. We ought to be more tolerant. I think tolerance is an ugly word. Isn't that strange? I think tolerance is an ugly word. But I'm going to tell you why. It infers superiority. Who am I to tolerate you? Maybe you should tolerate me. I don't want tolerance. I want to understand. I want understanding and compassion and care, brotherhood and sisterhood. Tolerance is a division. I don't want that division. Now we can tolerate things. We used to sit down at the table and eat my mother's cooking and say, oh, this is good, Mom. Well, my mom really couldn't cook very well. Right? But that's not the point. With other people, we must be tolerant? No. We must care for and understand and work for the benefit of. Every person you know is a bank of goodwill. Right? Every person you know is a bank of goodwill. And I have an account with you. And I can make deposits or I can make withdrawals. If I don't put anything in, if I don't do any business with you, that the interest and the fees, pretty soon I'll have nothing. We must remember that everyone is a bank of goodwill. We have an account, and we need to be doing something to benefit that person.